Hi, welcome back to the Arcade Repair Tips video series. Today we're going to talk about how to change your marquee light to a new LED light. We noticed the last time we were working on our old friend Donkey Kong here that his marquee light was out. And after listening to episode 60 of the Arcade Repair Tips podcast with Chris and Eric, they said you could put an LED up in there. So we thought we'd give it a try. What we did was we ordered this one off of Amazon, but you can go to most any home improvement store like Lowe's or Home Depot, Ace Hardware, etc. You can find these LED light strips that wire into 120, and we're going to install one in this game today. Okay, the first thing that we want to do before we begin any project with an arcade game, especially on the electrical end, is to turn the game off. So we have actually unplugged it from the wall. And the next thing is I took my DeWalt drill and I took out these top screws so that we could remove the marquee. We'll just take this marquee out and set it to the side. Houston, we have found the problem is that this one didn't even have a bulb in it. But that's okay. Probably more than likely you can see it's got some discoloration and stuff. It's probably because it wasn't any good anyway. So you could just replace this and put a regular fluorescent light bulb in there. We're going to try the new LED style today. So we're just going to remove these screws and actually take this guy out of the game. He came out relatively easy. Now his wiring is still hooked up back there, but with the power off to the game, I'm actually going to use the same wiring. Now, a lot of you probably already know that this game was made overseas and it runs 100 volts up there, but most of these LED lights will run 100 to even higher, up to 240 some of them. So make sure that you're in the settings range though with the one that you got. But it's only running about 100 volts up here, but that's okay for our project. It'll work good with this light. So first thing that I'm like to do is go ahead and mount this. Now this one came with some clips and that was really nice. So if you buy the specific one that we're going to show you in the notes, then you can get the same scenario, and it seems like it should line up really good. So I'm going to screw that into the cabinet. Sometimes it's good to make a pilot hole, but this wood right here is pretty soft, so I'm going to see if I can't just screw this on in here. This Donkey Kong wood is so soft. A harder wood, we might need to drill a pilot hole. And whether you have it up or down, that's just kind of a personal preference. I may have this one too high, but we could always drop that down if we wanted to. So I'm going to cut both ends. Get rid of this cord. Then I'm going to cut right in the middle of these two so that I can pull them back. Okay, now it's time to do the wiring for this. You'll need some nippy cutters or some cutters, some strippers, or whatever your preference is. And we're going to use these wire nuts just to connect it. Today you could do a butt connector or something like you've seen us do in our other videos. But for this project today, this is what I've chosen to use. So what we're going to do is cut those wires. And then we're going to strip them. These strippers are, we've used a lot in the past. These are about $3 at Harbor Freight. And they work pretty good in most areas. You just click them and pull. Leaves you just enough out here to get to. And then we're going to hook these wires together. Now you have a AC line and an AC neutral. You might need to check and make sure that you're hooking those up to the correct one. And if you're not sure what that is, you might want to research the difference between the two. But I'm just going to hook these up, put the wire nuts on there, And it's just 2 wires. It's that simple. Just connecting those. And now let's turn the game on and see how it works. Okay, we've turned the game on, but we haven't turned the light on. So let's turn the light on and see if it works. Wow, look at there. Really bright. Looks really good, especially after we put in this marquee. Look how good this is going to look after we set this in here. And we'll just put the angle iron over the top. We'll screw that in a few minutes. But look how good that looks now with the LED back behind there. Now, one thing that's really important we're going to stress right now in the video is this was a AC voltage light. One way to know real easily was, remember we cut the cord, it came with something that you could plug in the wall. In fact, we plugged it in and tested the light before we ever did anything just to a regular wall socket. Some lights out there are DC voltage. Now you could use those in your game, but we want to use the current voltage coming up here. So that's what matters. What kind of voltage do you have up there? If you have 120 or something, you need an AC, you need to make sure and get an AC LED. If you have DC 12 volts, then you need to get a 12 volt LED, or you need to run a separate wire. However, you need to wire it up to the way that your light that you bought is. Okay guys, we have finished installing the marquee, and look how good this light looks in his Donkey Kong game. Well, you know, one thing that we really still need to stress is that you've got to run, most marquees have AC power. If yours does, you're going to need to buy an AC LED strip or a light to go in there. If it doesn't, make sure that you're buying the correct voltage, DC voltage, to match what you have running up there. Of course, if you have any questions, you guys can go to our website, arcaderepairtips.com. Send us an email, questions@arcaderepairtips.com. We'll be glad to help you out. Just remember, guys, when you fix the game, you play the game, and you admire the marquee light.